Well, Rob, first ever European Champions Cup win in France. You must be pleased as punch tonight.
Oh, I'm delighted for a lot of reasons, mainly for the players, because the truth we can dress it up as much as you like. The last couple of losses, very tight losses, it would be very easy to think that the pool's gone and that all you're really doing is fulfilling fixtures, and that's actually what we spoke about before we came to the ground today. That we had two opportunities, we had two options really. One was to come here and just go, well, we're out of the competition, let's fulfil the fixture and move on next week, or we go, well, we worked really hard to be in the Champions Cup, we worked really hard to be a top six side, we worked really hard to be able to come to places like Bordeaux and take part in big games like this, and with atmospheres like we've had today and crowds like we've had today. And you've got to respect that, and you've got to take that opportunity, because not that many of them will come along in your career. And that's the bit that delighted me. I don't think it was a great quality performance. I think we made a lot of mistakes and it got scrappy and it got ill-disciplined at times from both sides, but ultimately we've stayed in the fight, and when you stay in the fight, good things can happen. And like now, it's going to be another one of those Exeter Chiefs scenarios where we'll look back and go, how did we lose last week? How did we come up just one drop kick short at Ulster? Because we could be sitting here with 15 or 16 points going, right, Ulster and Clermont to come, here we go, we're really going to push things on. That's not happened, but the one thing you could say about this pool this year is you look how close we've been to really get on top of things. We've come to France for the first time in the top flight competition and forced to win. There are some good measures for us, but I have also just said to the players that the reality of where we are is we need to have a big next 3 weeks. They need to turn up at training on Monday and get this game out of their systems pretty quickly, train with real quality and be the drivers for us to perform really well against Leicester, because it's make or break for us or Leicester's Christmas, isn't it? Really, Christmas Eve game. And to be fair, I think anyone who watched today's game will know we probably can't afford to give up as much ball as we did today and still expect to beat Leicester.
You talk about fight, and the boys did stay in there, and like you say, there was all sorts of things going on out there today. Yeah. Red cards, yellow cards.
At the end of the day, we haven't conceded a lot of points, and any game where you don't concede many points, you give yourselves an absolutely great opportunity to win. And we've done that for a few weeks now. Defensively we're stepping up and we're fighting. And that is the biggest quality you ever need to have, and that's the base quality and a foundation that gives you everything to build on. I'm pleased with a lot of things today. I think don't get me wrong, I think we had some players who were there a little bit rusty, a little bit nervy, a little bit edgy, and they led to some mistakes. But were the 15 of them on that field at any one time wanting to fight? Well, they were fighting, and that was evident to everybody. And sometimes, as I said, that's all you can ask for.
You've got close in the past to winning a first Champions Cup, but it must be a little bit of a special feeling tonight, creating a bit more history again.
Yeah, it's always the same. I mean, the thing is, we're always going to be a team for a little while that creates history with one-off things, and we've got to try and move beyond that. I want us to not kind of talk about so much history anymore, but talk about becoming champions, becoming winners. What is it going to take for this win to have really meant something? And it actually probably means we've got to be a bit more focused and a bit stronger earlier in the competition, because then this win would have meant something. And I think that's what we've got to do. We've got to talk about what it's going to be to become champions, not just what is it about making history on one-offs. One-offs, they don't add up to very much. What we've got to start doing is knocking them together.
Obviously the fans coming over in their numbers as well, right on Christmas, it's a great reward for them as well.
Supporters were fantastic. I mean, not only today, and they were incredible in the stadium, because they were massively outnumbered and it was a big emotional and very huge atmosphere out there. But they were walking around the town yesterday. I know the boys bumped into a few of them. I bumped into a few of the supporters who've been over here for a day already yesterday, and had a bit of a chat. And I just think it's fantastic. I think that's why you've got to appreciate a day like today, because they are special moments, and that's why I'm glad we put the performance in we did today, that we were prepared to spend a bit of emotion out there and put a bit into the game, and as I said, we've got a great reward for it.
As you say, Monday the hard work starts again, and a huge block coming up now.
At the end of the day, a home game against Leicester, an opportunity to go above them. Whoever wins that game is going to go into Christmas feeling pretty good about themselves in the top 4 slot, and I'm expecting us to train very well and to actually use that as huge motivation.